All right. Good morning, everyone. Just getting ready here.
Good evening. We can only see the top of your head.
Oh, what about now?
There you go.
All right. Sorry about that. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So we've got our weekend call, and we've got Dr. Kurt and Andrea joining us. And we're talking about the topic of why doesn't the age pill work for some people? And so this is actually a really, really important call because it is our top selling product. It is, one of our most effective products in terms of people get noticeable results. I guess I would say all our products are effective, but in terms of people noticing sort of before and after. And so this information we're going to share today is really important for you, particularly if you've enrolled someone in Sisel or if you're thinking of enrolling someone in Sisel and they are actually using this product. So, yeah, Kurt, do you want to kick off and say anything else in that regard? I've got some questions we can start with, but was there anything you want to comment on?
Well, since you're the MC tonight, I'm just really going to say this to get things rolling is, so many people, they tell me, oh, it's not working for me. It's not working for me. And then I ask them a couple of questions and I find out, oh, okay. Well, let me explain that to you. So I'm just going to leave that to you because I know you've got some questions and that instead of getting in depth right now, I'm just going to leave it over to you.
Okay, great. All right. So the first question is, if somebody's taking one H pill a day, will it work?
No.
Okay. What about
the thing about it, Katie, is that when they come up with therapeutic dosage, when they come up with the dosage that's written on the bottle, that's because that's the dosage that works for most people. And if you think, that 6 a day is too much for you and you're just going to take one, chances are you're not going to have any noticeable results. Is it helping? The answer is yes, because any amount of increase with the NAD is good for you. But is it really going to do anything to where you're going to go, oh, wow, I feel great? No.
Right. What about if someone's taking 3 a day?
Like if they're taking just the morning dose?
Mm-hmm.
Again, the answer is yes, you might feel something, but really, if you're feeling something at 3, just imagine what you'd feel at 6 or 12.
Exactly.
Or 20.
And so
can I hop in here and say something about that?
Yeah.
When the H pill was coming out, I consulted with Tom and I said, well, how many do we take a day and all of that? And he said, well, the normal dosage would be 3 in the morning, 3 at night, 6. And I said, 6 pills?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, well, if you want an effective dose, that's what you need to take. He says, I can't make the pills any bigger. So, Tom always puts out products in an effective dosage for the average person.
Yeah,
that's right.
Definitely.
Well, we have to look at, and Andrea, you and I have talked about this on the doctor's clinic call a lot. When you look at the RDA or the recommended dosage, it's really not the recommended dosage for optimum health. It's the minimum recommended dosage. And so when they write the dosage on the bottle, it's based on that. And it's based on a 154-pound Irishman in Boston in 1954 that's already healthy. And I mean, if you take a look at health, how many people are really healthy? According to the article that Andrea and I were talking about on the doctor's clinic call the other day, they say that only possibly 20 to 30% of people are healthy. So that rules out 70% of us.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And it says on the bottle, so this didn't used to say this on the bottle, but the new bottle, which everyone's now got, if you actually turn the bottle and look at the instructions, it says if you're over the age of 50, then the actual recommended is 3 to 4 twice a day. So really 4. So 4 twice a day, you're looking at 8 a day now. So that's, recommended because of someone's over 50. Kurt, can you, and I know we've heard it before, but I think it's really important to go over it again. Why over the age of 50?
Well, I mean, take a look at what the age pill is designed to do. The age pill is designed to support healthy stem cell activity, right? And that's the right way to say it, is it supports healthy stem cell activity. And when you're in your 20s, when you're 20, you have 1 stem cell for every 10,000 healthy cells in your body. When you get to be 50, you have 1 stem cell for approximately every 500,000 cells in your body. And when you're 80, you have 1 stem cell for every 2 million cells in your body. And so the stem cells are declining. I mean, that's easy science. You don't have to be a mathematician. You don't have to be a Grammy Award winning scientist or whatever, Nobel Prize scientist to understand that your stem cells are declining as you age. And so the age pill supports healthy stem cell activity. When you're 20, you don't need as many stem cells. You don't need as much support because you've already got more stem cells. When you get to be 50, yeah, you need more help. You need more support for your stem cell activity. And when you get to be 80, I mean, come on. It's pretty easy to understand. You need more support. You need more help. You need more crutches and walkers and canes and all of those things to support your health.
Yeah.
So it just stands to reason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think people kind of forget that as they're getting older, they need more help. The supplement that's designed particularly to, help reverse the effects of aging is going to, as you said.
I think sometimes, Katie, people, they go back in their memory and they go, oh, when I was 50, I didn't need that. Why do I need it now? And they don't understand, why do they need something now? Or they go, oh, grandma didn't take that when she was 80. Why do I need to take it now when I'm 80?
Yeah.
And
it's gone.
Oh, and I was just going to say the answer to that is real simple. The food that we ate doesn't have the nutrition in it. And so we have to support the healthy nutrition or the unhealthy nutrition, however you want to look at it, with products like the H pill.
Yeah. But also your nutritional requirements change as you get older. I mean, as you said, you need more help as you get older because your body's deteriorating at a much faster rate. I think Tom said that over the age, I'm just trying to remember, 60 or 70, I can't remember, but he said for every day that you're alive, you've gone backwards 3 days or something like that. Do you remember him talking about that?
Yeah. It was like, you're going backwards. I don't think it's quite 3 days, but you're going back a day and a half to 2 days anyhow.
Yeah. So I guess all of this is designed to keep you healthy for as long as possible and healthy. And so that's, why dosage is really important. So the next question I've got is more better. We're saying 6 a day and the bottle's saying 8. What about 12 a day? Is more better?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got people that take 18, and I've got some people that take more than that. But the thing about it is that if your body is highly stressed, you're going to burn your stem cells faster. If you've been in an accident, if you've been injured in any way, you're going to burn your stem cells faster. If you've been under any kind of chemical stress, if you're at a job where you're exposed to chemicals, yeah, you're going to burn your stem cells faster. And so all those different things, that's going to vary the amount that you need. And so when you say, do some people need 12 a day? Some people are going to need 12 a day for the rest of their life. Mm. And I take 12 a day now, and I've been taking 12 a day for almost 2 years, and I'll probably take 12 a day for the rest of my life just because it makes me feel good. I've tried to back off to 6 a day, like the normal person, but I'm not normal. I'm Abby normal. And I know that. I admit it. I've stressed my body out. I've treated myself like a rental body.
Yeah. Well, some of it wasn't your fault.
Most of it was.
Well,
Hi, Marcia.
Hi.
Wait, we've
Marcia.
Yeah, Kurt, Tom also said that, in terms of dosage, he said if you feel better on a higher dose, then by all means take it. And so, I've been experimenting with a higher dose and I definitely feel better. I've noticed quite a number of improved results. So for me, I'm going to stay on 12. I was initially worried about being on 12 because, and this leads to the next question, is 12 safe? Now we're doubling the dose, and I was initially worried. But after hearing, and asking Tom a couple of weeks ago on the call, he said, no, it's perfectly safe. So I guess people's main question is about the niacin. So, niacin, you're not meant to have in too larger doses. I know the answer to this question because I did ask it last week, but I'm going to ask you, Kurt. What would you say to people about that?
You mean about what's my answer if people say, can you take too much?
Well, yeah, I know is 12 too much? I'll come back to can you take too much, because the answer to that obviously is yes, but is 12 too much? And is it safe, rather? Sorry, is it safe?
Well, the answer to it is safe, and the answer is absolutely yes. Because you're not getting too much. Is it something that can cause problems? Is it can cause issues? No. According to the science that I read way back when the age pill came out almost 2 years ago, the science that I read back then, University of Iowa, one of the researchers there, he took high doses of nicotinamide riboside, which is really one of the active ingredients in the age pill. And he dosed it up and he kept dosing it up and he kept dosing it up until he thought that he would hit some point where he would feel some adverse side effects. And he was using himself as a guinea pig. And after dosing it up, and I don't remember the exact amount. I mean, I'd be guessing if I told you the amount that he was at, but it was eating like a cereal bowl full of nicotinamide riboside 2 to 3 times per day, and at that dosage, no side effects, and he said it's safe. It's safe to take. It's safe for you. It's safe for Marcia. It's safe for Andrea. It's safe for every single one of you to be taking all the time. There's no side effects. And some people say, "Oh, I'm allergic to it," because they have that flushing effect. Well, that's not allergic. That doesn't mean you're allergic. That just means you're having some flushing. But that's not an allergic reaction. And I think that maybe some doctors, maybe some medical doctors need to get their gear straight too, because they don't understand it and they just think, oh, it must be a side effect. Oh, it must be something dangerous, and it's not.
No.
Flushing isn't a dangerous thing.
Yeah, I've read quite a few articles on that. There's lots of benefits to that, and it is used by some doctors to treat cholesterol. Yeah, go on, Andrea.
Well, so Kurt, some people listening to this might not know what flushing is. Could you explain that in a little more detail?
Well, Katie, I'm going to let you explain flushing because you get it and I don't. I mean, I took 12 this morning for breakfast and I have no flushing. Plus I took 4 of my 4 Restore along with it. And I took some straight nicotinamide riboside along with that, all for breakfast. I had no flushing, so I can't describe it. Why don't you explain it, Katie, what it feels like?
So it comes on, you start to feel hot and your skin kind of is like tingling and can feel like itchy. And it can be in certain parts of the skin. I had a little bit of a flush yesterday and it was like a blotch here, and a blotchy go all blotchy. And if you take a lot, I mean, I've had head to toe where my whole body was completely red, looked like a tomato. And at that point, I'm kind of like doing this because my skin did feel a bit itchy, but it didn't last long. It only lasted about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I just drink heaps of water and then it goes away. And it's really, really easy to fix because basically you just split the dosage. That's because of the niacin in it. So if you look at the bottle, it says it's got niacin in it. It's also got niacinamide in it. And it's actually the niacin, which Tom said a couple of weeks ago that they put the minimal amount to be biologically active and do its job. The rest of it is actually niacinamide. The niacinamide does not cause any flushing. It's the niacin. And so if you want to avoid it, then you just need to split the dose. Try just taking 2. If 2 is still too much, which I find most of that would be, I find that hard to believe, but I guess it's possible. Just take 1. If you space them 15 minutes apart, then that will definitely alleviate that problem. So, but it's really, I think, it's beneficial. I noticed just before the flush happens, a boost in mood and, your skin feels a lot warmer and any kind of aches or muscle aches or pains just really disappear because of you've got all that blood circulation going. So it's really great for circulation. Kurt, do you want to talk about how that can benefit circulation? When you're actually having the flush and what sort of benefits that is by increasing circulation.
Well, think about the word. It's called flush, right? When you think about flush, what's it doing? It's opening up all those blood vessels, and a lot of blood is rushing in at a real high speed. And when it rushes in at a real high speed, it grabs all of the toxins in the area and it pulls them out and it flushes them out. And so that's why flushing is considered beneficial. So there's even some scientists that I've known, some scientists that I've met, they say that you actually want to get flushing. You want to take so much niacin that you actually create the flushing because it reverses some of this, I don't want to say degeneration, but some of the toxic exposure that we've had in our life, like from radiation. These scientists say that it'll reverse the radiation damage that we've gotten from UVA rays. And for all of you down in Australia, that's important because you're exposed to more UVA rays than we are because your ozone layer is damaged. And we don't have that up here in the States. I mean, heck, it's barely 65 degrees today, and cloud cover and right, But yeah, so flushing is a good thing because it's gonna dilate all those blood vessels. The blood's gonna come rushing in. It's gonna grab all the bad stuff. It's gonna pull it out, and then it's gonna push the good stuff in. Come on, that's good for you.
Yeah, it reminds me. I tried to get Trevor to have a flush. I got him to come over one day. I made sure he hadn't eaten, and I said, right, here's 8 age pill, go and take it in one go. So he took 8. In one go, and he said, oh no, I don't feel anything. And I said, well, take another 2, and he took 10, and then I think we got him up to 14, and he was still saying he didn't notice any flushing. I said, oh, I guess we better stop it. 14.
I had really bad flushing, Katie, for about 6 months on the age pill. Every single day I was completely covered from head to toe, around the back of my arms, all of my face. My scalp was itchy. My legs, behind my knees, just everywhere. And I remember talking to Roz about it, and she convinced me, and I understood. I understand the process of elimination and detoxing. So I celebrated it. I was happy that I was having these flushes, and they didn't last very long. They were uncomfortable, but I did find that after I would eat a little bit or have, flush myself with water. Of course, that's really important when you're going through, a bit of a cellular detox. It's really important to drink that water so that you can flush it all out and not re-intoxify yourself. So after 6 months, it went away. But remember, I was really, really, really chronically unwell. I had MS and I could hardly walk. And, I had lots of brain fog and massive amounts of systemic body pain, and all of that went away. So the benefits of the age pill far outweigh having to deal with a 10-minute flush in the morning when you take it. And The other thing that's important, I feel, is to mention that the flushes normally only happen in the mornings because your body regenerates at night. Your body detoxifies at night. Your liver and your gallbladder and your kidneys, everything gets like renewed and flushed out. So when you're taking that age pill in the morning, or actually I took 6 in the morning and 6 at night.
Oh, wow.
It always only happened in the morning for me. I don't know about others, but to me, it made absolute sense that it was just a massive detox. And like I said, I celebrated it because, you know, I knew I was getting better. My body was cleaning out for the first time. I was taking something that was actually helping me and, you know, fixing my body and detoxing it in a safe way.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
fabulous.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that when I have a new person start taking the age pill, I have a little message that I send out to them after they've ordered. And I explain the flushing, because when the age pill first came out, one of my Facebook friends ordered it and took it. And the next thing I know, she's on Facebook saying that she'd gone to the emergency room because she turned red and got hot all over and didn't know what was going on. And the doctors at the emergency room didn't know what was going on.
Oh, no.
So I always kind of warn them, like, oh, this may happen if you know your circulation needs to be improved and that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, the other thing that can affect it too, and Kurt, maybe you could explain why. I did have someone on the team who was taking it and they were saying, I'm not getting any effect. I'm not getting any effect. And I said, well, how much water are you drinking? And he wasn't drinking that much water. And so then what she decided to do was, you know, grab a 500 ml bottle of water, sit down, take her 3H pill and sit there, drink the whole lot in one go. Well, the difference was like night and day. When she added that extra water in with the dosage and actually took it, now it really kicked in. Now she could feel the effects. Kurt, do you want to explain to everyone on the call why that is the case and why it's important to take water?
Oh, that's an easy answer. You know, the thing about it, niacin, nicotinamide riboside, nicotinamide mononucleotide, nicotinamide dinucleotide, you know, they're all forms of vitamin B3, right? And your vitamin B3, your B vitamins, they're all water soluble. So the easy answer to that is that, I mean, if you're gonna get the B vitamins, the water soluble vitamins into your cells, wouldn't it make sense that you have to have water?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a big one. And I do recommend to people, if they are starting on it, to, you know, really bump that water up, try and at least hit, well, it doesn't make much sense to Americans, 1.5 liters to 2 liters a day. So I guess I'll say 6 to 8 glasses. And if you're taking more, I do think it's good to take more water as well, because it is doing a detox on your body, as Marsha's talked about, and you need water to help escort those toxins out of the body, because you're going to, so they can get out. Otherwise, I guess they kind of get trapped in there. Okay, so the next thing, I've got a question, Kurt. What happens if I take it with food versus not taking it with food? Can you explain what happens to the capsule, how it gets broken down in both scenarios?
Yeah, another great question. You know, another great scenario, because that's what happens with a lot of people, is that they take the product and then they eat, or they eat before they take the product. And here's the problem. Niacin and all the variants of niacin, nicotinamide riboside, nicotinamide mononucleotide, all of them, what happens is that they're all affected by the stomach acid. And if I start thinking about food, if I start thinking about my favorite food, if I tell all of you girls, if I say, hey, I got a box of chocolate, right? Inside, your body starts changing. And one of the things that happens is that you start producing stomach acids to digest the food that you're thinking about. So in your case, it might be chocolate. In my case, it might be buffalo steak or whatever it is. But you know, in any case, you know, what happens is that when I start thinking about that food, when I start eating that food, what happens is that my brain starts to produce stomach acid, and stomach acid destroys the niacin. and the variants of niacin. So it's going to destroy the nicotinamide riboside, the mononucleotide, all these different variants of the vitamin B3. And so that's the problem. So you don't want to eat. In fact, I mean, if you can, you don't even want to think about eating. The last thing you want is for your boyfriend to bring you a box of chocolate right before you take your H pill, because that's what you're going to be thinking about. And then it's going to produce stomach acid, and it's going to make it so that the H pill isn't going to work as effectively. And so if you take it with food, of course, I mean, you can see the damage that that's going to do. And so, I mean, again, pretty simple answer. Will it still work? Some people say, oh, I can't take it without food. Will it still work? Sure, it still works. But instead of absorbing, 60, 70, 80%, I mean, you don't absorb 100%. So instead of absorbing 60, 70, 80%, you might only absorb 30 or 40%. It's still going to work. Like when I give it to my dog, when I give it to my black lab, I can't give him a pill. He won't take it. He spits it out. I mean, I don't care how I give it to him. He spits it out. So I roll it up in a piece of cheese, and he takes it that way. I know it's not as effective, but that's how I have to give it to him. And so you just realize, just like I've told him, he don't listen, but that's what I told him. Well, he's not going to get an effective dose.
What about opening up the capsules to give it to pets and to mix it in their food? That would be the same scenario, wouldn't it?
Open it up, yeah. It's going to be the same scenario. Just remember that the capsules are enteric coated. What does that mean? That means that they won't dissolve into stomach acid. Enteric coated capsules are designed to pass through the stomach without being broken down.
Yeah. So, I mean, the ultimate goal of the way it's designed and been instructed for people to take is actually to go into the stomach. Obviously, you swallow, it goes down into your stomach, but then actually pass out your stomach into the small intestine, the first part of your digestive tract, and dissolve there. Is that not right?
That's exactly it, because then once it gets to the intestine, then you got the liver, and the liver's trying to break it down again. So now you've got the liver trying to break it down. So if you make it past the stomach acid, now you got the liver.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really important information there. And well, you've already said that. I was going to say, can you actually give it to your dog? And how do you know it's working?
Dogs don't lie.
That's Trevor's statement.
I know, I had to say it because you gave me the lead in for that. But I mean, seriously, they don't lie. Dogs don't lie. When I give it to my dog, he's I can tell he's healthier. If I've skipped a couple days, you can tell that he just doesn't have the energy. He's not as rambunctious as he is as the days that I give it to him.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the same for my.
Did you also take your dog to the vet, and the vet said that your dog is like much younger, looking much younger than his age?
Yeah, when I took him to the vet last year, the vet, he was 10 years old last year, and the vet opened his mouth, looked at his teeth, and said, "Oh, really? Your dog's 10 years old?" She couldn't believe it. She said he looks a lot younger than a 10-year-old dog.
Aww.
Yeah. Okay, I've got 2 more questions here, and then we'll wrap up. So I have heard on the odd occasion, actually, and I did hear it first from you, Andrea, so maybe you can speak on it. What happens if you feel sleepy when you first start taking the H pill? I felt like I was like jumping, I could jump around, jump out of bed, but some people actually had an effect where it made them feel sleepy, and they go, well, this is not working. That's not the desired effect. So maybe, Andrea, you could share your experience of that, and then Kurt, you could talk on why that is and what you should do about it.
Yeah, I was pretty jealous of everyone that was saying, oh my gosh, the energy that I have after taking this H pill, and I was like taking naps. Like I was tired and I was taking naps, and I figured it was part of detoxification. And so I just kept taking it, and it lasted probably 6 to 8 weeks that I was tired. And then after that, I started getting the energy that everybody was talking about.
Oh, wow. So it came on after 6 to 8 weeks, that kind of cleared up and it just resolved itself without you changing anything.
Right.
Okay, wow. Kurt, do you want to speak to that, what Andrea just talked about?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, remember, when you're healing, when you're sick, I mean, Marcia, you can tell us, when you're sick, you're tired. You want to lay down. You want to go to bed because your body does its healing when it's resting. If I'm running around the countryside, I'm not healing. I'm burning my energy just trying to keep up with the day. And so, Marcia, tell us a little bit about when you were recovering from fibromyalgia. Were you tired? Did you have a little bit of fatigue going on?
Kurt, I had severe chronic fatigue, really severe chronic fatigue for years and years. And but for me, it was the opposite. When I started taking the age pill, I had lots of energy. It did take a while. I wouldn't say that I got tired after taking the age pill, but it did take a little while for me to build up that energy. Probably same as you, Andrea, about 6 or 8 weeks. And it was actually 6 or 8 weeks after I initially started taking the age pill, Kurt, that I was back at full-time work. That's how much energy I had. Wow. And I hadn't been able to work full-time or have any energy to do more than one activity a day, like the groceries or washing my dogs, for probably 4 years.
Oh, we're so glad you're here. And ladies, you're late.
Wow. Okay. So Tom talked about the importance of having dark green leafy vegetables in your diet, or perhaps even taking a methyl supplement. Kurt, do you want to speak on that for us a brief moment?
Well, vitamins all work together synergistically. And when you take a look at your dark green leafy vegetables, your dark green colored fruits and vegetables, they're loaded up with B vitamins, and they all work together. And so one of the vitamins that we have is called folate or folic acid. And so when he says eat a lot of the dark green vegetables, that's why, because the folic acid, it activates some of the ingredients in the age pill, and it makes it work together. You look at the 5-hydroxytryptophan that's found in the age pill. In order to generate serotonin, you need that folic acid. You need that vitamin C, and that all comes from the food that you're eating. And so that's why Tom says that, because he knows that this product is activated with food.
Right. Fantastic. And I guess the last question, and then we'll wrap up, is how old can you be and take the age pill? Like, what's the youngest you could be?
Say the question again.
At what age could you take the age pill? Like, what if a parent's thinking about giving it to a child that's under the age of 18? Is that okay?
Yeah, good question. As we move into the future, the soil's not getting any more we're not replenishing the vitamins and the minerals, and we're not making the soil any healthier today than it was yesterday or 10 years ago or 100 years ago. And the answer to that is that as we move into the future, the age pill is going to be necessary for younger and younger people. And so if you have somebody who's eating a standard, I call it the standard American diet, but you might call it the standard Australian diet if you live there, or if you're in Japan, the standard Japanese diet, or wherever you happen to live. And the problem with it is that you're eating food that's loaded up with calories and loaded down with vitamins, and so you might find that somebody in their 20s will need it. It all varies from person to person. I know, like with my 30-year-old son, he'll be 30 this year, and I've got him taking the age pill. He takes 6 a day. And he said, Dad, he was just telling me the other day, he said, Dad, he said, I noticed that if I don't take it, I don't feel good.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, great. Does anyone else have any other questions I wanted to ask Kurt, or any comments before we wrap up the call?
I'm okay. That was awesome information. Thank you, Kurt.
Yeah, thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you, Marsha. Any other comments, Andrea?
Just one. Kurt can't hear anything now.
I'm going to mute him for a second. There we go.
Now, I had just a couple of people who got headaches from taking the age pill.
I can hear you.
when they backed it back down to taking like 1 or 2 and worked their way up, then that dissipated. But I think it was having to do with toxins.
Did you hear that, Kurt?
No, I missed something there.
Oh, she had some people who got headaches when they started taking it, but then when they backed it down and gradually increased, it resolved the issue.
Yeah.
And Andrea was saying it potentially had to do with toxins.
Yeah, and the reason for that is because of the flushing, because there's flushing going on in the tiny little blood vessels in the brain, and that's why they're getting the headaches, because there's a rush of blood into the brain. It's the same thing that causes migraine headaches. You have either too much blood flow or too little blood flow going into the brain, and that's what happens when you get the flushing in those tiny little blood vessels. So yeah, like you found out, just back off and have them take a little bit less, and then gradually increase it.
Okay,
Awesome.
yeah. So that's not really a common noted effect. I've not had anyone report that to me. And I guess that's also where the water would come in really important too, because one of the first signs of dehydration, and I read that it only takes a deficient in water by 2%, the first sign is actually a headache starts to come on. So,
That's right.
yeah, so that would be definitely another reason to be drinking more water. So I guess we'll leave it there. We've gone a little bit over. Hopefully people who are watching the call live or the recording find this information useful. And it's definitely something you could share with new people who have concerns who are starting on the age pill. So that they're well informed and know what to expect. They know how to get the best out of the product and the best for themselves so they can enjoy better health. So thanks everyone for the call today. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week. And for those that want to stick around, Sandy and I are doing a live demonstration of an exercise routine that anyone can fit into their day.
All right.
Thanks,
Thanks everyone.
Katie. Thanks, Kurt.
Bye.
See you, Andrea.
Bye.
Bye.